What's up, you guys? I want to share with you an interesting Neville Goddard story you probably never heard before that reveals a secret on how to manifest large sums of money, no matter what your situation is. Really, you gotta try this. Alright, here's a story. There was this one Jewish boy who was born into poverty in Odessa, Russia, who never really knew what a full meal was like. He was the oldest in a family of five, and at a very young age, around 10 years old, his mom died, so he had to work to support the family. It was rough. He never knew what it was like to have a new pair of shoes, or a new pair of pants, or a new shirt or hat. Everything was pretty much hand-me-downs. Anyway, he got a job going to the bank every day, bringing large denominations of paper money that would be exchanged for silver and copper. So when he'd go back to the store, he'd have the equal amount of money, but this time in silver and copper. One day, he was standing in front of the teller, the cashier, and he noticed that the silver and copper had similar markings on them. They looked alike. And he wondered, what if the cashier made a mistake and gave me silver instead of copper? And at that moment, he assumed that the cashier did make the mistake. And in his mind's eye, he took the money and walked back to the store. He knew the cashier didn't make a mistake, okay? He was just playing a little game. But when he walked back, listen, he felt that the cashier did make a mistake. And he wondered, now, what would I do? I'll go into a restaurant and eat for the first time in my life until I feel satisfied. And then I'll buy a pair of shoes and then a pair of slacks. Remember, the cashier didn't make a mistake, but he had the joy of walking in that assumption. Check this out. The next day, believe it or not, the cashier did make that mistake with the silver and copper, and the boy realized it right away. So he went to another bank, changed the money into the right amount to take back to the store, and kept the extra money for himself. And he said, I wrestled all day with myself. And that night when I went to bed, I could hardly sleep. I wrestled and wrestled with myself because that was in conflict with what my dead mother had taught me. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet. But the next day, my hunger and my desire to have a new pair of shoes and a new pair of pants overpowered what I had heard from my mother. Then I ate until I was stuffed. Then I bought myself a pair of slacks and a pair of shoes. Eventually and thankfully, the boy got out of that state. And he learned that the law is spiritual. And he told Neville that he never took anyone to court for unpaid bills. Instead, he would sit at his desk when all the employees left. And he'd write out a letter thanking them for his check. He never mailed it, but he'd get himself into that mood, that feeling of receiving his check. And no joke, within a matter of 2 or 3 days, never more than a week, he'd get his check for a payment that was long overdue. He never had to demand it. He never had to go to court to get his money back. Because he knew that his assumptions, though denied by the senses, if he really believed them, they become a reality. And he lived by this principle. And he died at the ripe old age of 77 and could leave an estate that runs into millions, you guys. Millions. Think about it. From being a hungry and embarrassed little boy because of the rags he wore to someone manifesting millions. How? Because he knew the law. He knew the law. And you can live by it too. You want more money? As the story proves, you don't gotta be born into the right family or know the right people. And you definitely don't gotta screw anybody over. You know what I'm saying? Live by the golden rule and decide how much money you want. Then catch the mood, the feeling. But you might say, Josh, how would I know what it feels like to have X amount of money when I never had it before? Yo, that's the whole point of imagining. For example, let's say you did have X amount of money. What would you do if you had it? Oh, that's easy, Josh. I'd buy this, I'd buy that. I'd travel here and there. I'd pay off my mortgage. Okay then, how would you feel? Oh man, I'd feel excited and a sense of security and relief. Then boom, that's it. See, that wasn't hard. You've entered that state of money consciousness. And if you remain in that state of consciousness, emphasize remain, then that's what'll manifest. Simple as that. Folks, know what you want and assume it. Live as though it were true. Then watch it happen in your world. Let it happen, because you get what you believe. Yeah. Alrighty guys, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button to help support this channel, and the bell right next to it to be notified of my next video. I pump these out every single week so you don't want to miss them. If you're listening via podcast, I'd really appreciate a review. It gets more people to discover my work and of course help spread this message. And if you need a real change in your life and you feel connected to my work, let's work together. Click the link below for one-on-one coaching with me on things like manifesting and even fate issues. Like I always say, more's coming. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.